Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with episode 2 of Exu Calamity. We're going to do it like we did last week. We're going to do it in 4 parts, but this week, I have it on Twitch. I used the account like you guys told me to do. I took my Amazon Prime account. I went to Prime Gaming. It was quite easy to do, like you guys said. You find Critical Role, you make it your #1 choice, and there you go. So, it is a 5-hour episode, but if I start at 23 minutes, it's exactly where the theme song ends. I watched the first 23 minutes. I'm letting you guys know. I watched it from beginning to end. I don't want to put every second of everything in the video because then it'll be upwards of 5 hours by the time I talk and I do my intros and exits and stuff like that. So we're going to chop out the first 23 minutes. We're also going to obviously chop out the break in the middle. I believe the break in the middle is another 10 minutes. I wrote it all down. I have all the timestamps so I know what to do. But I feel like there's a 10-minute break in the middle, and then the 23 minutes we're starting at. So right there, that shaves over 30 minutes off, a half hour, drops it down to 4 hours and 20 minutes roughly. I'm going to do an hour and 5 minutes each part, 4 parts. And with my intros and exits, they'll probably be like closer to an hour and 20 minutes. So let's just dive in. I'm going to recap real quick. I actually did go back and take notes, even though I said I probably wouldn't. I also went back and I researched Vespin Chloris. So I rewatched certain parts also, but this is what we got. Ring of Brass is the group, I'm assuming. If I am wrong, I am literally getting so much lore dumped on me with this and Campaign 2 and Talks Machina. I am just flooded right now, and I'm not upset about it. It's just if I make a mistake or I say something wrong, please correct me because I might go on a rant for a year and a day about something that isn't even relevant. Either way, Ring of Brass, this is my 1-minute recap on what I think I know. Ring of Brass, Underground Council of People. That is R6. We got Nidus, Patia. I'm pretty sure it's Laren, Koromar, Sealy. Loquacious Sealy, Surit, who am I missing? Xerxes. But those are our 6 people. We are on the eve of the replenishment. The replenishment is when Avalier is a floating city that was raised up by Amir the Bold. That is Patia's great-grandfather. I think it's the great-grandfather. Either way, he's an old dude. Over 1,000 years old. Well, he's dead now. But we have the wise guy, Mr. the Wise, who knew him at least, but that dude's probably over 1,000 years old from what I'm told. Either way, Avalier floats over to Cathmoria, I believe it's called, which is where it was risen. It then replenishes with ether, makes the crops and shit grow, and it makes magic things happen, I guess. But while we're doing this and the replenishment's happening in the background, Surit, Mr. Travis Willingham, is this giant bird-like thing. There is something with Vespin Chloris. We're doing some kind of investigation. There was a foot-long piece of gold that we find out from Nidus is part of a 12-foot bow that was wielded or held or possessed by an angel, which they call a solar. And there is a summoning circle. He tried to do the matron or the maiden's summoning or something like that. Like I said, guys, I'm probably making mistakes here. Either way, something went wrong. There is no Vespin Chloris anymore. I know that dude is someone of importance. I don't want to do too much research because I don't want to spoil anything potentially. But the summoning circle is destroyed. Something of wild, crazy power either unleashed or killed Vespin Chloris or became Vespin Chloris, or I don't know. But that's where we're at. Let's just jump in. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons out of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. There are dozens of shows on Patreon right now that you'll never see on YouTube. I don't have the time to edit it all. Almost Human, Person of Interest, Doctor Who, all these things are going on. Go check it out. If not, episode 2, part 1, Exu Calamity.
We return to exactly where we left off. There will be no...
Well then, all right, that answers my question.
Of this night
I figured so much.
A little bit too critical, a little bit too close together. Important things happen in the span of a single breath here on the eve of the replenishment. We return now to a small room off the side of the grand banquet hall in the Palazzo Porco.
I love how he says that. The Palazzo Porco.
Crouches in a room with
cheers, everybody. Red Bull and White Claw.
Disanimated scarecrow soaked with champagne, a mutilated dead body covered in carved runes and blood, and a cracked mirror in which you now only see your own reflection.
Beautiful. let's start.
Where
Cheers.
do we find our intrepid sight warden in this moment, having just witnessed the screaming visage of Vespin Chloris? And I will clarify here in this moment. It is a face you recognize. Easily done at the Hawk's Nest, at the Hall of Eyes back in Cloudstone. Every senior Archmage, anyone in any terrestrial city, anywhere on Exandria that you have traveled, has their image recorded and their arcane mark written down to be recreated at a Sight Warden's discretion with a minor illusion. So you, earlier today, when you were going into the room, had Vespin Chloris' face animated with illusory magic in front of you to know the man by sight.
Okay.
Although I cannot say that you recognized him well in the mirror, given that most of the skin of his face had been peeled off.
Jesus!
He threw his hand against the mirror and shattered it, right?
He dived forward. It could have been his hand or his head or something along those lines that shattered the mirror.
And then disappeared.
Yeah, in the moment of its breaking, disappeared, and you were looking at a mirror again.
I've pressed it since last session. I also got the scary part. Yeah.
I mean,
it was legitimately scary. Big tech.
It doesn't necessarily mean
stand
that's...
there with his hawks still drawn, sort of at a ready position. I say, well, that's not something you see every day.
Perfect.
That's his reaction.
I'll scan the room again.
I love it. I mean, I don't care.
Hawks
it's great.
And,
love Travis. He's my favorite
face
voice.
Next to the
Look what Sam is wearing.
the Hamidas. I don't remember what it was. I'll go through it again because I never finished the investigation of the actual
Scarecrow.
Right.
You conclude your investigation there. You arrive at what you assume, normally in a construct there would be some animating thing, there'd be some glyph or some point of interaction where there would be, its heart, its engine, something central to kind of animate the thing. You go into the Hadmadad. Most of it is just fabric and a little bit of stuffing. There's some sort of just something to sort of pad out the clothing a little bit, because these are just sort of for menial tasks.
I want a hominid.
At its center, there is a glyph with the emblem of the golden scythe on it. Created by the golden scythe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think you would know on your investigation check. Actually, for this one, go ahead and give me an Arcana check if you'd be so kind.
Okay. It is created by one.
Kids.
I mean, it's Nidus's hominids. Hominominons.
12.
12. Oh, that's freaking horrible.
You have
level 14. 12. Yeah. Well, how does that even happen?
On a 12
Hard.
is enough for
Get
you to
out of
know that you are disturbed by the lack of animating material within this Hadmadad. I mean, you know that the Golden Scythe has had to find some way to put a fleet
Is Hadmadad from
constructs
something else, or
on
did
the
they create that? Because I feel
these
like I've heard
Hadmadads
that
are
before.
not only created by the Golden Scythe, they are sold. People can buy them. You can get them in different colors. You can customize them to whatever your house crest is. They sell these things. They're and so as a result,
it's like iRobot.
You're wondering if it's there's no
hominid.
proprietary technology within it, but you're looking, it's like opening the hood of a car and looking in and just seeing a Toyota emblem and no engine. You're like, where's
I just realized that this
makes
is
it go?
really
It can't
loud.
just be the logo.
My bad.
So on a 12, you are mystified, but have the feeling that being
go to
mystified is not
12.
due to you.
Twitch
not
has
understanding
different
something,
volume than
but rather
YouTube.
you think that most people that create constructs would not understand. But it's easy enough. Nidus could probably explain it to you. It has the Golden Scythe logo on it.
Cool. And as I check it, there's nothing that I need to make safe. There's nothing that this thing was carrying in terms of a weapon, an explosive device that I would recognize. Nothing that feels like a security breach. Because I'm going to perform this on the corpse behind me as well.
No security breach here.
Okay.
But I'll say this. I don't think on that, even on a 12, I don't think you would be comfortable with the lack of a security breach. Meaning, if the engine's not here, it's somewhere.
Yeah. Got it. Anything on the anything on the body with the chunks of flesh missing? Runes in its face.
Let me ask this. So for this one, you can give me an investigation, but I'm going to tell you straight up that the biggest pressing thing about this is actually probably a medicine check.
Ooh.
So if you get a super high investigation, I will give you some stuff. If you make a medicine check here, even a lower DC might produce more answers.
Let's do medicine check.
What is a medicine check? I don't think I've ever heard a medicine. Oh, Jesus, Travis.
Call him Dr. Pinch.
I think that you know enough.
6!
On a 6, you know enough first aid. You know enough to triage a wound, right? And as you hands come down.
Stop bleeding. It's the pressure, yeah.
My God. I mean, I feel like a
slit his
6
throat.
is
As you
way lower
open
because of the
just,
dice
the
that he's
wound
rolling,
you
the
delivered to
die.
kill him. On the inside of his throat, it is riddled with
Growths?
growths. There are things on the inside of his throat that look a dark, pinkish gray, mottled.
All right, then.
You're not a doctor, you'd have no words for these, but things of flesh that are not supposed to be here are here. It looks like this being
Was poisoned or
clearly
given...
to cast and hold concentration on an invisibility spell, but looking at this, there's like something inside this man's body that should not be here.
Oh, my God.
Okay. I'm not going to like that. So I will stand up. I'll kind of actually drag the body into the middle of the floor a little bit, even if it's leaving a trail. I'll exit the room, and I'm going to search immediately for Xerxes.
As you are...
Yeah, we need to get more people involved in this.
You hear a noise. A sending stone in your back pocket, in one of the secret compartments that you keep. A small sending stone is...
I'll retrieve it.
As you hold it aloft and move it so that it can create noise, you hear a voice say, "This is Talon to Wingspan, Talon to Wingspan."
Yes.
I am in position, and I am reporting that Egghead is preparing to break curfew and sneak out of the house to go to a party, and you said that she's not allowed to leave, but she's about to leave, and she has no idea that I'm here. She has no idea that I can see her. She's about to do it.
Oh my God.
What a thing to happen. What?
This is good.
This is your son,
My son.
here.
Yeah.
I was going to say, this has got to be a kid, his child.
Code names for you, himself, and your daughter that you have never heard before.
How many kids does he have?
Code names change a lot depending on what he thinks is cooler that week. And you are standing in a room.
I
with
knew
dead
right
bodies,
away.
and
I'm like,
your son
I
is
am
out,
assuming this is
your
a
daughter
child.
head out.
And
To
it's
one of-
maybe
what
his
presumably
kid?
Many parties happening on the eve of the replenishment.
Sure. Talon 2, this is Wingspan.
Talon
Say again,
2
this is
to Wingspan.
Communication's a little shoddy. Wow. Did you say Egghead is snuck out?
That's how he talks to his kids, too. I mean, that's his voice.
She snuck downstairs to the kitchen, and she got a bottle normally reserved for Wingspan and Clear Eye, and I saw her take a swig from it, and then she made a face like it was really bad, and then she took another swig from it, and then made a face like it was even worse. I don't know what it's about, but I know she's up to no good.
Oh, my God.
This is very good, Talon 2. Very good. You are in no way to engage with Egghead. She's dealing in dark magic.
Dark magic. She's sneaking father's
Keep your distance.
booze, is it?
I kind of look over my shoulder at the floor in the room. I'll be home when I can. I love you very much.
Is that, I love you too, Dad. Sorry, I thought we were still doing.
I was going to say, is that...
Keep objective professionalism.
Yeah.
No.
Keep our professional. I was going to say, he's breaking character. How dare you? He's breaking character in his character.
Okay. Do you know if Mom's supposed to come home tomorrow, or is she going to miss the whole?
Hey, breaking character.
I don't know.
Talon 2.
I don't know. I think she's gonna try and make it back by tomorrow. Your mom's a very busy.
Oh, wait, he's Talon 2. That's
scientist, brilliant
Wingspan?
woman, as you know.
Talon 2,
But,
Wingspan.
you know, she works at her own pace. But I'm sure if she can be here, she will be.
Affirmative. We'll keep an eye on the skies, Pop. And Wingspan.
Wingspan, yes, Wingspan, Pop.
And I'll tail Egghead and make sure that no funny business.
Okay, copy that, Talon 2. Don't get again too close and stay away from the evil dark magic liquor, drinks that she's.
Dark
I
liquor.
collected a vial and I stored it in my evidence locker.
Talon 2, where would this evidence locker be located?
The evidence locker is in a secret compartment under my bed. You know what? It's in a different place. Don't worry. Nothing else is under my bed. I have to go. I gotta go real quick, but I'll talk to you soon.
All right, talk to you too, Talon 2. Over and out.
Love
Over
it.
and out.
It's actually just over.
It's a snitch.
And you're a big fan of that.
The kid's your kid's a snitch. I love
That
it.
was fucking amazing.
I love it.
This kid is way cooler than my kid.
Talon 2 to
Get sucked
Wingspan.
into any portals. You know what I mean?
I love it. Totally in.
Sobering
Right away, I'm like, there's no way this is his kid.
However, you are back
In the
LA,
middle
you
of
are
this, like we're just talking about
I put the
a man's
sending tone
face
back in my
being
pocket.
peeled
Deep
off,
breath.
and we have kid.
Exit
I
the
love
door.
it.
Look for our first night.
You exit. Pasha, out on the floor, you're still holding court. You see Sarah walking out towards the front entrance. And actually, I think I'll have both of you join, but we're going to wrap up what was happening outside
raspberry.
as well. Outside the Palazzo, we just had
I'm
both
mixing
of
it with
you
Red Bull.
interact with Pervon Sewell before his vanishing
Pervon
in some movement
Sewell.
of divine
Also
magic and vanishing from the city.
Did
of
some
Avalon.
research.
I wanted to give you guys one last shot each at an insight check against Pervon. Just to add some context, he told some pretty heavy stuff to you guys. But I just
Maybe.
wanted to see if there's any last.
Let me back it up.
Gleam?
My
Yes.
daddy taught me good.
I got a 24.
But 16.
But if I fail, I can add another D4 to it.
On a 16,
But if I fail, I guess that's a thing.
I think you recall the main thing that you recalled before that Xerxes recognized, which is the one thing that he was hinting at he would not say.
Yep.
The words betrayer gods never left his lips.
I'm absolutely fixating on that.
I think that on a 16 insight, because that dwells within your mind. Why does Xerxes think he didn't say it?
Because he's scared. Because he's a coward.
There is something you recognize in Pervon that
I feel like that's a
different
bit-
as he feels he is from the mages of Avalier, he actually shares in common with them. And I think Xerxes feels this way both of some of the archmages of the Septarian and beyond, and also this champion of the gods. Some ability that the mind, the heart, the soul are in control of what is real. And that if you do not speak it, it will not be. But some things are, regardless of if you are afraid to name them. On a 24 insight,
That is, sometimes you just get lost
you
in it.
interviewed a lot of
I figured out where I think
and
where I
Pervon
recognize
told
him, even
you
though it's
a
not
great deal.
him.
More knowing
I'll
the
tell you in a
fact
bit.
that the prime deities cannot see what is unfolding is pretty profound in and of itself. But Pervon was also speaking very cryptically. And as a master interviewer, someone that's interviewed people a lot of times, I think that your insight into Pervon, right, and if he was holding on to anything else, I think on 24 insight, you don't think he was. In your experience, people that have actual secrets, people that are being really secretive, deflect. If they have something they don't want you to know, they start talking about something else. People that act cryptic are often concealing not information, but the lack thereof. And you think Pervon's carefully chosen words were not protecting dangerous knowledge, but were protecting pride. Something's going on, and he didn't know what it was and didn't have the ability to speak to it. That's at least from your experiences as a reporter, that when people are that guarded, it's often
And I
because
feel like he would
they're
have
in free fall as well.
very good intuition. Xerxes looks like Mike Myers' friend from So I Married an Axe Murderer, but a
as you
more savage version.
back and
I know
forth
it's not
before
him,
you converge
but tell me it doesn't look like that dude, but
Based
more
on what I just gathered,
jagged
yeah.
and cut and
I
muscular.
know where Nidus went.
Yeah.
Sounds like him too. It sounds like
I'm
him.
gonna come back and meet you here.
I don't know
I'm
the
gonna
actor's
get him.
name, but he's in a lot of shit.
Now?
Bring him. Yes.
Shouldn't we get as many of us together as possible
Right.
first?
So I'm gonna go bring him,
Where did he go?
and I'm gonna telepathically conjure Tempest.
Tempest alights down here.
Tempest, Griffin.
Incredible.
No,
As Tempest alights, it takes off with you into the air.
I'll be back.
Well, okay, I mean, all right.
I think I'm actually going to just allow this to come down to a roll of the dice to see, because Nidus was also heading out post haste.
Right.
So we're going to let this be a roll of the dice. And Nidus also headed out a little while ago, prior to
Right.
the conversation
whole
with Pervon.
interaction.
Yeah.
He took off ahead of me.
We're dress shoes.
So
no tread on them.
we're just going to make this a straight up dexterity check. So dexterity check from Xerxes, and a dexterity check from Nidus.
Dex on deck.
to see if I can find him. Dex.
Yeah, just see if you can,
Dex
we're gonna
on
see if you
dex.
can beat him to his destination and intercept him.
Flat Dex. My Griffins. Dex check.
I apologize if it was insanely
This is
loud
actually
before,
just
because
your-
now it
you can use
almost
Tempest,
is, and
you
it
can use
was
Tempest
red
dexterity if you
line.
prefer.
Flat Dex.
Flat dex, that's it.
I got some flat decks.
You got this. I don't want to get caught.
You won.
Let me see that boy.
You won.
This guy.
Oh, what did you get? I rolled a 1, so.
Oh, thank God.
Well,
A
I mean, it's
three.
a 3 total with my.
Well, so but mine's a total of 7.
Okay, you win.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, that's what heavy plate will get you.
Absolutely
My
perfect.
dress shoes, my untreaded dress shoe,
Because he's got heavy plate armor. His heavy plate.
Incredible. We actually are going to move. So, Nidus, you take off. You're off in Tempest,
Yeah.
flying as fast as you can. But you get to the scythe really quickly. I'm actually going to say on that dexterity check, you just grab a porter. You just boom, dimension door straight to the side. You walk in. You are back in the central warehouse. There's a bunch of like confetti on the floor. There's like a couple little bits of like popcorn and stuff from like food carts that went out. It's like a ghost town in here now because everything is out on this. This is like put on a show, right? As you do, you land here and see off in a corner talking to a couple of different sort of like stevedores, essentially, that there is Alessander, who looks up. As it has become night, you see that he actually has a small little candle lit on the top of his conical hat to sort of light his way. And you see he turns around and says, "Guildmaster, hello, I wasn't expecting you back."
Alessander was...
A moment, please.
Very well. 1 minute, my friends. Oh, well, it was incredible. The Sphinx improvised an entire monologue, sort of talking about the glory of Avalier. He's only been here for 1 day. It was I was very touched.
Let's have...
Do people know? Did people applaud?
I was going to say, let's inquire. I don't want to cut off Alessander.
He lost the crowd in the middle, but he...
I mean, that's going to happen, you know.
But he got to the end and roared really loud.
Well, there it is.
And people just remember the end, you know, they don't remember the middle.
We are going back to
I'm
the
glad it was
Sphinx. I love
success.
it. We're actually
Alessander,
reflecting.
I need 4 automatons right now.
Guildmaster, I truly loathe to be this person. Impossible.
Impossible.
Everything is spoken for. My lord.
Impossible.
Can we allocate? Can we shift
What do we
4
got
over
here?
right now?
58 hours?
I
We're in
can
for
find
58
some
hours.
off duty. Well, first of all,
yes.
Alessander is a top 10 of mine,
Hamadods
just
do?
because
Do I know if
Just
Hamadods would do?
because.
No, this is quite complicated.
Hamadods would do. I want a shirt that says Hamadods
Alessander,
would do.
I appreciate the thought, but we need more. We need better. Alessander,
Poor Alessander.
You know that those
Alessander
things
is
fit
just constantly like, do that. Like, I need more. I need more.
Give me either Arcana or History yourself.
I know that's his job. His job
There's
is
stuff that Alessander is
to
not
get
gonna bring
things,
up
I
because he just
guess,
doesn't have the
or
bravery.
do whatever
21 Arcana.
Nidus asks.
There are
Hitting the
automata
radiator,
you guys are
guys.
working on,
Doing a
that we're
radiator
building under
dance.
contract for the city that are prototypes that are not that literally you're going to use the month on the ground to like make active, but they are ready to go right now.
Alessander, I've had a thought. Let's, can you requisition in your special way 4 of the prototypes we've been working on for the city, right? I'll take them this evening, and we'll likely have them back on the morrow, if not the
On the
following day.
morrow.
Looks at you and says, "You want me to go and activate the taxman?"
Yes.
The tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man.
You see,
Someone's gonna do that. Sam's gonna do it. Sam, I mean, that's not his character.
you see, he says, "My lord, I can activate them, but these are supposed to be completely mint preserved for trials during the.
Of course, Alessander. However,
This will be the first time they have been.
yes, Alessander, I understand. I understand we are on the precipice of something truly magnificent. And this
Alessander is gonna die
we will
from
find a way
stress and
to
anxiety.
refurbish them in
Look
such
at
a way
him.
that no one ever notices Alessander. It will not be a problem. And if it is, that is on me.
Nidus,
I will.
you
carry
are
that with me.
psychologically damaging this old man. I love it, though. I love it. But Alessander's gonna have a heart attack.
I cannot fathom the weight you already carry. I hope you are all right, my friend, and know what you are doing.
I know exactly what I'm doing.
I feel like
Activate them. I've already dallied enough.
people like Alessander
into
have
a
more
chamber
weight to
that
carry
leads into some
because
subterranean
Nidus.
area.
Yes,
And he
he's got more
arrives
responsibility,
at
but people like Alessander have
Warehouse is
a
inappropriate.
lot
You
more
can't
weight,
see
I
the
feel
other end of
like.
this room. It stretches into the city for maybe a quarter of a mile.
I know, that sounds crazy.
And you see
But Alessander,
fleets of arcane engines, all keyed to emblems. You see the arcane equivalent of server banks, upon which all of the engines that do not exist in the bodies of these constructs are all kept here in the headquarters of the Golden Scythe. And you see Alessander walk up to 4 of them so new that some tools still rest on an artificer's workbench nearby.
all right.
Quickly moving from the Chamber of Engines, you walk back up to an area of the warehouse, completely dark. Alessander, the candle on his hat lights. And you
Great.
see,
I love
hulking
the
at about
candle
12
on
feet
Alessander.
tall, massive steel constructs. Step up. They look brutish and hulking, but you know that the engines that power their cognition, not sentient, but their perception, their reflexes, their instincts, their ability to follow out complex will. It's top of the line, state of the art.
Love
A
it.
testament to your genius. And those blades on their back, sheathed. You know what those can do too.
Okay. Love it. We got Master. The tax man.
Bidding, sire.
What would be the quickest way to the arcane heart that doesn't involve me marching 4 12-foot automaton through the center of the city?
You could pull a porter. A porter steps in, and Alessander looks up. This porter is like, it's young, thatched.
I'm like totally on the edge of my seat, freaking out right now. I want to see it. I want to see it.
And creates the gate for you to go down to the Meridian Labyrinth. And you see, he looks at you and casts the message cantrip in reference to this porter. Should I put the young porter on Archmage Porco's list of our friends with,
Of course.
bad memory? Yes.
Yes, yes.
She'll see to it.
Yeah, look at like Sam is like, what is happening?
What are you talking? What are you talking?
You don't know.
You don't get it. You don't understand. You don't understand what we're working on. Okay.
I'm an innocent reporter.
I'm an innocent reporter, goddammit.
I mean, right now,
Cool.
Marisha, Sam,
You,
and Abria haven't done much.
Back up. So, Xerxes, you are flying straight there right now, but we're actually going to jump back to the Palazzo real quick with Loquacious, Sarah, and Paige.
There we go. We're back. All right, here's the other three.
And then he
Loquacious,
just, got on his
Paisha,
Pegasus, or whatever it is called.
and
flew
Laren.
away. But anyway,
Laren, Laren.
seemed all sorts of out of sorts, and it's
Her name is the
it's
hardest for me to know what is right.
Pretty heavy, whatever's
I don't
going
know
on.
which is the right pronunciation. Laren,
Anybody
Lyran?
trying to sneak a listen, stay close,
Lyran?
act like they're not.
I said that.
Do whatever you want to do to find out. Give me perception checks.
Don't try.
It means baby.
25.
I would say that anybody trying to sneak up would have to be invisible, but even that wouldn't fucking work. So I think you might want to. I think that with that 25, you probably move the conversation back to the Ivy table.
Okay.
Cool.
I turn and I announce to the
Good
room.
to know. Good to know.
Another round on the porcos.
You see, everyone cheers and laughs and makes merry. Hey! It's
Oh,
Porcos.
look,
You see the one guy who cheered out
they got me a drink. The Porcos.
More like the party. Coos, yes, yes. Throws another down the hatch. Love that guy. Great energy.
So generous.
Ooh-wee.
To not charge your guests for the.
That is a Red Bull with some whiskey and Red Claw, White Claw, raspberry.
So we get back to the table, and I'll say, guard your faces. Don't give anything away with your expressions.
Of all people.
That's fucking cool.
I steal myself.
I love it.
Teeth. God, it's uncanny.
Amazing. See, that kind of stuff is amazing. I mean, you never know. It's kind of like stand-up comedy. You don't know what's going to hit or miss.
I'm afraid the game.
That shit hits.
The rats are already inside the fucking.
I think it's Travis. I think that voice. I'm freaking loving it.
As I was doing that,
I want him to
became
just
aware
like be involved in
of the invisible
everything.
force that was behind me. I spun and struck down an individual.
It's
who
not
was
just
sealed in room.
the voice.
He was
It's
covered
the
with runes carved into
delivery
the
of
pieces
it.
of his flesh
Killed
missing.
someone at Paisha's party?
I did. There, no one important. Okay, I wouldn't repeat that
I'm
mistake.
sure his mother thought that he was important.
Loquacious, it wouldn't be a first.
As I was doing that, I spun
What?
and saw a figure in the mirror. I saw Vespin Chloris, or at least an augmented visage of him. And he turned and looked and said that we would never make the Wild Mother's embrace. The mirror shattered and he left. Now, I haven't had any fucking champagne tonight, before you ask. But I think this situation requires a higher level.
That might have been something my friends asked at
He
certain
said we wouldn't
times.
make the Wild Mother's embrace, which you interpret to mean landfall,
Yeah, totally.
which is in a few hours.
Yes.
So we've got Pervon, works for a god, says bad things are coming from bad gods. Soon.
I like the way that was.
This man, Vespin Chloris,
Abridged.
says we won't even make it to land. My ex-wife ran off to do something. Well, I see one clear.
That's on par with what we're talking
way
about.
forward.
We have those two
have
epic
to-
things, and my
No
ex-wife
one of this,
ran
do
away
nothing.
somewhere.
I will make the normal announcement as we get closer to the replenishment and make sure.
I mean, that
everyone
is a big deal,
happy
'cause she
and, secure
went
and feels like
post-haste
everything's
with
normal,
the
and we'll just sort
item.
of ignore it for now. You can tell people on your end and work on it or whatever. Do whatever research and investigating you have to do. But for now, we just make sure that everyone stays calm and do nothing.
Do you agree?
To a extent, I do agree. Panic. Never solves
I can't
any
even make
problems,
that
but
noise with
maintain a level of
this
control over
voice.
the population
You hear this
fast.
voice? It sounds like I don't smoke. Besides that,
I don't like this many coincidences.
and I feel like I sound like a guy that smoked for 50 years.
It's a decision that we all need to make together. Leyren left. Xerxes also left.
Leyren took the bow, correct?
Yes. And Nidus.
Yeah, Leyren took the
He's
bow.
off doing
The
his
piece
thing.
of the bow, we
I
should
don't
say.
even know where he went.
We need to
I think
alert.
I know what Nidus is up to. If what you say is true, the fate of Avalier could lay in the hands of Leyren.
Here is my question
Aspasia says that.
right now.
Deep underneath. The Meridian Labyrinth.
Your loving ex-wife.
Your loving ex-wife.
I'm doing the same thing as Brennan right now. I don't know if
Lies.
to how to say what I want to say. Let's just.
Once
I'll wait
known
till
as
the end.
Apparatus Arcane, this crystal engine lifted Avalier by the command of Emir Porco into the sky 292 years ago.
All right, good timeline. I
Now,
like
named
it.
it the Apparatus Arcane because at that time it was the only one. But since then,
Apparatus.
there
I'm so
are
excited right now.
many more.
I have too much energy.
There are the registry of the Porters Guild. There are, in addition to that, there are the Codex of Keys, the Helm of Avalier, the Ley Rudder, which connects to the Navigators Guild. However, we are in a room just off of the Ley Rudder, and we see a quite fascinating new machine.
What?
Bria, I'd actually love if you could describe the engine.
Oh,
that
shit,
now
here we go.
hold
All right.
and
This is what
the,
she's running to.
Chamber that we see.
Is this thing gonna run off this piece? Is it a fuck machine?
Cut a hole in it.
I love the response too.
I like
It
that.
started
It
off
starts
as a
with this, like,
fuck
big
machine.
central pendulum that swings back and forth, that is generating and sort of holding this like massive miasma.
Is it a
of,
fuck
like,
ma- I-
ether
now I'm
and
not
green
gonna get
energy.
that out of my head.
There's,
Thanks,
a
Sam.
circle of batteries that I've requisitioned and built, and each
I
of them
think
glows
that
with a
shit's
slightly
gonna power
different
this
shade of
thing.
green, that are kind of feeding into this pendulum, and in the center underneath it is just this massive platform, and there are runes inscribed into it, but it seems like if you look really closely, like when you draw on paper and there's like papers underneath and you can kind of see the imprint of other ones, she's been trying lots of different ones to try to figure out the right array to
That reminded me of Stefan from SNL.
move in a new direction.
You know that thing when you have.
She's worked really hard on the arboreal calyx, but she needs to go in a different trajectory and hasn't figured it out yet.
I love it. Also, one thing, by the way.
I
don't
love
think
that
you've
he
heard of arboreal calyx.
Gets excited about
There's
other
different,
people's
but
explanations.
There's a
I don't know why that's like that.
the machine in front of you.
I know why that's like that.
So like this attaches to the Ley Rudder, which I think that you've done a tremendous amount of work on in order to make this machine possible. And I think also somewhere in this room,
My sister sometimes
there's
uses
a
my
small
chair, and she is
token.
obviously like a foot shorter than me.
not something that is of mechanical significance. A small token of an old friend. A gift given to you long ago.
Look at Sam. Look at Sam.
A-
Nidus.
Locket. Simple orb inscribed with runes. To be filled with
Travis is in now.
something of safekeeping. To remind you that the long years could part you. That friendship would win out in the end. What do you remember
Listen
of
to
your
the
old friend
music.
Evandrin as you look at this locket?
That is Xerxes' husband. Wait.
Despite the like sort of
Xerxes' husband.
warm memories and good feelings, that attended him handing me that locket, all she can remember is those last few days before everything broke bad. And
Does Xerxes know about this? What?
of not knowing how to help him and not knowing how responsible she was as he began to fade. So it's that like burst of joy and then the creeping guilt.
Xerxes looks like he's actually crying.
The memory.
I think he is. He's crying. He is like actually. Either he is an amazing actor, or he is actually emotionally affected by this.
And fading, such that when the time came to inter, there were no remains. You behold this work in front of you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is this?
I think Marisha is getting him tissues.
Is this?
I knew it.
dug into
Marisha
with
is
Talon?
legitimately getting him tissues. I knew it because I'm like, he is getting choked up about this.
Yeah.
This is what you now behold is an engine that you have named, and I'll let you say its name.
The flux capacitor.
However,
Back to the
as you
Future.
prepare,
Do I even need to say it?
Leona
It's over
is
here. A
with
little
you.
time
Talon
machine
not-
is
Talon's
right
not
here. If you
working
can
on a
see
bunch
it.
of eldritch battery stuff. There's a lot of work for the replenishment that needs to happen. But you hear approaching footsteps. Some of them quite heavy.
Well, this area that's kind of been dug into and dug out, there are a bunch of the like rundown.
Got about
automatons
20 minutes
that
left,
needed
guys, and then we're
replacing.
gonna
So
chat,
when I hear footsteps,
just so
I'm
we
gonna
got
cast
everything.
animate objects on them and set them up as a guard behind me.
These constructs come back into being momentarily animated.
He
simply by the word of
legitimately
commands and
is
the
choked
detector
up
arcane.
about this, like
They leap
still,
back to
like
action.
he's still
Literally, I think
not
just
all
you
right
blast ether from a receptacle
about
on your own wrist and give them the
Evandri.
momentary life that their initial construction no longer can. And as they stand back up, you see Nidus Okira approach with automata you have never seen before.
Your Eminence, I bring exactly what you asked for.
Those are new.
Yes.
I feel like he reminds me of somebody, and well, he does. I just don't know who it is. I can't think of it yet.
We were waiting,
But his
to
way of
reveal or start,
just being
to release
all
into the
about
sea,
getting things
upon,
and
rising again. But for you, an exception can always be made.
Thank you.
Dweomer looks
guys,
to
that
you,
whole thing with
under
Xerxes
her
is
unflinching
totally
warforged
like,
face.
I'm like,
Your Eminence.
I want to know more.
The automata
I need to
present
know, like,
within the chamber do not bear the glyph of the armor arcane.
Oh.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh.
Who made these?
You guys did.
Oh, we did, of course. The Golden Scythe.
You bypassed entirely.
Well, I wasn't going to let bureaucracy slow us down.
Incredible. I have several questions about what their purpose is. They're so big.
This can all.
What are the blades on the back for?
That's
This
what
can
she
all be
said.
discussed.
They're so big.
Understood.
The blades on the back are
Is
for
it
to
possible?
hurt
Are we?
things.
Is it going to happen? Do you have everything you need? I mean, you said it. You were leaving, and I couldn't. Do you actually have all that you require?
I think just with a quick flash, I'm gonna drop Rary's telepathic bond. Yes.
Yes.
If only. And I go and run and grab the papers. There's tonight, in the next day. This is my best
The
chance.
solstice, correct?
Yes,
You spoke
yes.
about that earlier.
So it has to be now. This comes every 120 years. I might be alive to see the next chance at this, but they won't. Evandrin wouldn't have lived to see it. I don't think Clay would have either. So it has to be now. I have to prove that it was worth it.
And you will.
Yeah.
You will.
We have a bit of metal. I have a
bit of metal?
destination. We're gonna move the entire city.
Well, it is truly a blessing that you came to me, that you have allowed me to be part of this. This is everything I wanted as the Dragon of Avalir.
I just run up and hug him.
I mean,
I
You guys-
have-
I'm down. I'm down. I'm into
You
it.
embrace under the impervious gaze of the four massive
The
constructs.
two. I was gonna say there's four, dude. Who are you, Brennan?
Dweomer steps up and grabs the corroded bow and displays it to you.
Okay.
We're gonna do shit with it.
Energy. We've siphoned off so much from this last trip. It's got to be worth it.
It will be.
We say.
Of course.
Okay.
It would be.
I love I feel like 50% of my love of this is the expressions of Travis and people like him right now. Lou.
They take the boat.
Lou.
And you see that one of them gazes down at it, walks over to another engine, puts their hands doing the work these automata do, and you see its gauntleted steel hand animate apart so that its hand splays open and a raw vent of arcane power goes into an engine. Dweomer inserts the bow into the top, and it begins to spin as golden light spills out of an opening in the top of a stone dome.
That is an amazing sound effect. You were great.
The corrosion.
That is exactly how I would have heard it in my head.
Pure gold, shining brighter than the sun. You see that one of the taxmen, its chest begins to sort of like come apart, and another taxman just steps up and grasps its shoulders from behind.
To put them together, holds them together?
It begins to like fuse into its brethren in front of it. As the engine speeds up, Dweomer steps over to you and rushes towards the engine.
Oh my god, it is so intense. He had to hold this dude together.
She begins to interact. She begins to interact with glyphs, and you see in a corner a tiny model of the lay rudder, a just ever so small recreation of the machine in the anterior chamber. And above the engine, you see light fills the chamber. Dweomer says, "Architect Arcane, we are reading a signature, 0.504, 0.508, 0.512, 0.516, 0.530, 0.548. And you see that the lay rudder in your hand surrounds you. Light, energy. One of the 3 ley lines that converges on ancient Toromunda, on Cath Moira, which you were...
We're talking ley lines.
Or 2 away from being directly over. Ley lines are invisible. It's pure energy of Exandria that flows, the veins of magic, the stuff of creation. Nidus, you behold as the spirit itself of the world is rendered visible, and realize you are standing in the bloodstream of the cosmos.
I think Nidus just hands, tears falling down his face. It's beautiful! It's truly incredible!
Oh my god, I'm like picturing it in my head. That's what I thought he was explaining, but I needed confirmation.
The dream of a cabin boy deckhand taken aboard a pirate ship to look at a flying city and to say, one day, I could be at the helm of a great working of magic. You watch the beating heart of your world flow magically through this room.
He actually is getting worked up about it. Like, I like that. I like the passion that it's actually like affecting them on an emotional level.
And the stone dome closes. The spinning stops, and the engine pulses, mirroring the heartbeat of your world. Silvery white light.
Oof.
Feeling of warmth, heartbeat that matches the feeling of being inside the cradle of life. The miniature lay rudder in your hand, the engine of the anterior chamber just outside that the navigators use to pilot the city around Exandria. Small little gem lights up on its exterior, and the new engine that you have created, the astral layrite, mirrors that gem.
Joker mind.
Now, what would you like to say? What would you like to say about all
Go
this?
somewhere new now. All of us.
As you say that, Laren, you feel the miniature model in your hand lift off and begin to travel. It's traveling in the same direction as your city. And as it travels, you see 2 more gems light up on the layrite. And another 2, and then 4 more. And the trajectory of the lay rudder, your little miniature train, this nothing more than a toy, really, stops moving sideways. It moves up at a diagonal. But what a strange diagonal. And as it moves, it becomes translucent. fades, vanishing from this plane. And you see the gems on the lay right. Beep, beep. And a signal of recognition. Somewhere beyond this realm, your toy is safe and in one piece.
What?
It was worth it. And I go over and grab the locket. It was worth it.
What was worth it? Yeah, like I mean, what specifically? I understand what just happened, but what specific? Like, there's more to this tale of things.
I mean, when whatever you need, when you're ready to share this with everyone, I mean, the fact that this is coming with the replenishment, it's all perfect. It's just perfect.
We can finish the replenishment as expected.
Yes.
And during the celebrations, during that month, we'll take care of all the business.
Of course.
And then we will tell them that the next departure will not be across Exandria, but to new planes. Anywhere we want to go.
Boom.
Everywhere.
Glorious day, I can see it now.
Fuck.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. That's probably fine.
Okay, that's normal.
Yeah.
That's probably. There's nothing to see here.
Looks, you just used up about 8% of the city's energy sending that toy extraplanar. And as you look at the readings, this is a nightmare.
Oh my God!
And you look, and Dwemer says, "My lady, something unusual." And you look at your
Didn't
energy
expect
grid,
that.
read out where everything's going. The arboreal calyx, which is an ancillary engine of the ley rudder, the actual sending of the toy took about like a fraction of energy. It was actually more efficient than you were planning on it being. But something about what you just did, the arboreal calyx sucked up almost 8% of the city's energy.
God damn it. Can I try to figure out what's going on with the calyx?
Give me an Arcana check.
So it was very efficient sending the rudder.
Yeah, but you're like arcane.
But you somehow sucked
enough. 16.
almost a tenth of the energy.
So, first of all, what is Nidus seeing in this moment as you, like...
The siren is going. We just had our beautiful envisioning the future moment. Now there's just a big red light going off. I think Nidus is just kind of like, just insight check on Laren to know what the vibe.
Give me an insight check, and if you want to deception, you can.
Of course I do. That was almost a natural one. 13?
Versus me?
Yeah.
Nah, 18.
No.
I am in a dead panic now. It was in the immediate flip from like, this is it. She was about to get like emotional and calm
That's-
to like, oh no. Like, it's very obvious that she's dealing with something that she doesn't have like parameters
I love
for,
the
and
immediate
sort of
change.
digression into
Because I was
that
like, all
is
right,
gonna be the worst
well,
case scenario.
that was positive, and
You look at this.
Boom,
Leon
alarm.
returns to you, Nidus, actually, and says, Guildmaster, the issue is not with any of the technology present in the layrite. There is simply an energy concern within the etheric net. And you look, and so on a 16, I can tell you, even if you, honestly, it's fitting that you rolled a 16, because the arboreal calyx
I'm trying to think
is,
of what it could be.
of the pieces of technology in the city, one of the ones you hate the most.
Yeah.
It is an engine that is part of the drashari tithe. So essentially, I see. all these
Well, she's
confusions.
clear.
Everyone,
I see confusion, but I see.
Sorry, tithe.
I love everybody. Like, everyone's got secrets, but man, does Laren have secrets.
I don't think I have any secrets.
Sam, I know that's not true.
But they're fun secrets.
Mine aren't world-ending secrets.
On a 16, here's what you know, right? The replenishment. Avalier travels the ley lines of Exandria, trading with cities and civilizations all over the world, collecting gold and resources and magic, right? Especially magic. Ether, raw magical substance, which is obviously the beings of this world don't use the term spell slots, but that concept of the magical potential held within beings, magical objects, things like that exists in this world, the understanding that raw magical power is there. And Avalier has this ability to extract and hold ether. That's not an accident. Way back in history, when Toromunda was a single city, and Emir Porco and the
I'm wondering if somebody felt that surge and used that surge to make it look like an
Toromunda had
accident.
been founded by the Gau Drashari, an ancient order of druids that tended that tended the holy sites of the history of Tormunda, or actually the mountain itself, Mount Igora, the ancestral mountain. This was very significant.
That sounds like something
it was a place
familiar.
where the
Like
Dawn
from
Father and the
something
Wild
else.
Mother defeated two of the greatest primordials of Dominus back during the Schism and sealed them away under the earth and was part of the ending battles of that schism. It was a place where elemental magic permeated throughout, which the Druids tended to.
That stuff sounds awesome. Schism shit with the Dawn Father and the Wild Mother battling. Not each other.
When the wizards came and said, hey, can we take the top half of this mountain and have a cool flying city? The original Druids were like, no, you may not. And the replenishment was the concession of those wizards. It's not, in the modern day being in this ancient prequel series that we're doing, but in the modern day of the Age of Arcanum, the replenishment is sold by the Archmages of Avalier as being a great act of charity. It's not a great act of charity. It was an obligation to the Druids of Tormunda, something that they said they would do to justify taking the top of the mountain. And the replenishment does renew the crops and bring back magic. There were also, in your knowledge, a bunch of important things the Druids wanted to do with that magic. Now, cynical minds might say that's the Druids' cut for letting the top of the mountain go. But the Druids also said that there were really important things they wanted to do with that magic. So the Drashari Pact, also known as the
we're
Pact
getting
of
a
Crown and
freaking
Throne,
dump.
Right, was the original agreement between the Wizards and the Druids. Crown and Throne became Avalier, the City of Crowns, and Cathmoir, the City of Thrones, and it was all about how they would apportion this magic. So you've been building out the etheric net for a long time. 25% of the city's ether is spoken for from that pact. So you got 75% to play with. 25% has to go to these things that were part of the original agreements. So the reason you don't know a lot about the arboreal calyx is that that's your utilities bill. You've just always needed to send a certain percentage of stuff there. But when you look at it, you see that calyx alone is more than 50% of the tithe. Like that engine is like this one engine that doesn't do anything that to be useful.
Yeah, so somebody's doing some
percentage
shit.
of your entire city's reserves of magic. And as you were looking at the energy structure, you see that it flared up when you did this thing with your layrite, and it sucked up a lot of energy as you did that. And the last thing I'll say is,
and the last thing I say, fucking Druids.
When you look for
so much just got dumped on us. I might break after this.
As you are looking for like an instruction manual, something, because you never had to interact with it before. Being an old piece of junk, at least it's reliable. It never needs maintenance. Yeah. It's just something that sits there, taking up hard drive space and sucking up juice, being a kind of piece of machinery that you don't particularly like, but there's no instruction manual. Like you're looking through your own like spellbook, your like records preserved here in like crystal memory within your engines, and everything built by mages comes with incredibly explicit and precise detail about what they were thinking, why they built it, what they wanted it to do. And this one says, this is the amount of energy that you must apportion to the arboreal calyx during the replenishment. End of list.
Okay. I would like to pinch whatever like cable is running to the calyx. Is there any way for me to like bottleneck that?
You could probably do it with a
button. I don't want to take any more of my precious energy, and that might be a bad thing, but I don't know. It's old technology, and it's probably fine.
I'm down. I honestly am down.
Arcana check.
She's saying like you pinch like a hose or something. I'm sure there's a way to just cut it off, bottleneck it.
Yeah, you're proficient in Arcana.
Oh, thank God. That was a natural one. Okay, 27.
Oh my God, it went from a natural one to a 27.
She's fully panicking right now.
I think I just come and lay a gentle hand on your
My
shoulder.
God, that is
On 27
huge.
Arcana check. Yeah, there's stuff you could do here. It's not as simple as pinching a cable. This thing is really tapped into the roots of the city.
I feel like
lack of a manual.
There's got to be people doing something, or
I'm
just.
27 Arcana.
I mean, what else?
Get the technical answer that you're looking for, but I'm going to do some quick math.
Either the old technology is screwing shit up, and it's just a coincidence, or there are people using the old technology to kind of tap in.
The arboreal calyx isn't as old as the city. It's 119 years old.
Right.
119 years old is when is the date of the last replenishment. It's a replenishment when the Drashari pact was updated, which was a big deal back in the day. Now, this is stuff that's not going to be in your documents. This is going to be up. Honestly,
This sounds interesting, though.
Patia would have more
Last
about it in her
replenishing,
library,
we've
but it's
somehow
honestly outside
got
both of
this.
Your home courts. This is magisterium stuff. This is magical law. So you would have to find a way on the eve of the replenishment to like bust into the librarium magisterium to like find
Librarium
out.
Magisterium.
You do see a record that this engine was built 119 years ago, which I will point out on a 27. Some quick math on our master architect's part is the first replenishment after the ascension of the Raven Queen.
Okay.
We have to go get more.
Raven Queen.
Go
We get it. The Raven Queen tied to other
I
characters.
need to know.
Big time named characters. We know them.
Your Eminence, it is the eve of the replenishment, and of course we could make it happen. But is there a chance that this can wait? No. No. Fantastic. I will make phone calls and connections, and we will make things
I'm trying to
work.
think of how.
I'd like to get on my settings now, and put a call in. Well, I feel like we should probably just go find Patia.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you two are going to go find Patia. Who are you leaving here with the astral lay right? Which, again, miraculously works. It worked. You know that the thing you have dreamed of is possible.
Yeah.
The heartbeat of the cosmos.
Yes.
Even better. I was about to give her a call.
Turned off her fucking radio.
I turned off the CB radio. You can.
Okay.
You can. Send me a text, girl.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I think you each go to like your ring of masks and play each other at the same time. I want to go to Xerxes really briefly.
Xerxes.
Who flies to, and then we will bring the party back
Who's
together.
seeing the ley lines?
You arrive at Excelsior Plaza, where you see the Herald's Tome. It is a revel here. You see that people are partying and laughing, huge major images. You see that there's a bunch of professional bards casting huge illusions and music playing in the square. People are drinking and making merry. Life is good here. And you see that there is the headquarters of the Golden Scythe, the vault and everything else.
So I'm arriving to where?
To where you think Nidus would be. I'll say you just walk in and see Alessander Kyrus there, who you recognize as one of Nidus's.
I hope we have a discussion with Alessander.
It's a pleasure to see you.
Yes, pleasure. Where's Nidus? I need to speak to him right away.
Oh, he,
So rude. So rude to poor Alessander.
he,
Let's go. Funny story.
Check.
I love it. I love it. Tell the funny story, please. Hold up Leonidas.
20.
Oh, not Leonidas. Xerxes.
has a little head candle.
Look over here.
He has a little head
You
candle.
watch a man whose whole job is keeping account ledgers feel suddenly very frightened. Not of you doing anything, but you know the look people give when they feel like they're about to be in trouble. Yes, and he goes like,
well, it's very funny, you know, the guild.
I completely encroach in his space, and I put my hand on his shoulder, and I give a gentle tap, actually.
Yeah.
And I say, my friend, there's no time for this. It's urgent business. The first Knight of Avalier is asking you, where's Nidus?
and I'll leave it totally up to you. You can give persuasion or intimidation, and the intimidation would not go wrong. It's not like you're intimidating him like I'm going to hurt you, but it is there's a pressure from above coming down.
Yeah.
So either one of those.
I'm
Intimidation.
I'm not the kind of person to try to scare
Yeah,
anybody.
but he just said it's not like a scare, wasn't it?
29.
Damn.
Persuasion. Okay.
He looks at you. You see, he goes. First night. The Guildmaster Akira is with the Architect Arcane within the Meridian Labyrinth.
How long ago did he leave here?
You see,
Snickers in the city. Can nobody keep a damn secret?
on a 29 persuasion, no, they cannot.
On a 29. Yeah, I mean,
he
they
says-
said 30 is like tops, and we've seen higher.
Within the Meridian Labyrinth, he has taken a porter there, but the young lady, I believe, has already recused herself to other guild business.
And I leave.
You see, he says, first night, I should warn you of something.
I'm already gone. I'm already jumping back on.
Wait!
You take up.
Tempest,
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to hear the warning?
I soar up above the city.
Is it just we know already? Like, why wouldn't you want to hear the warning?
And to try to process some of the stuff that is kind of happening, the stuff with Pervon and trying to find Nidus, and I look down at
Pervon
the
Sewell.
festivities and all that chaos that I
Got
have
some
just
shit
seen
to
on the ground,
explain.
just
You
a
got some
moment away from
explaining
it,
to
take a
do.
breath. And then I head over there, and as I mutter to myself, I hate this place. And I go to where he told me where Nidus was.
How dare you?
How dare you? Oh,
You fly to the Meridian Labyrinth.
We should stop soon.
The Meridian Labyrinth is... I'm going to ask you for an investigation check, if you'd be so kind.
Let's see the investigation check, and then we'll cut it
Too,
there.
I know that I'm
We're already
hitting the territory
past
that's above.
the hour mark. I said I'd do an hour 5, so technically we still got a little bit.
So here's the issue, right? 5 is not great. So
5 is not. Thank you. Thank you for that. 5
you
is
are
not
able
great.
to walk through the Meridian Labyrinth. Like you do not get lost on a 5. This would probably repel and entrap you, but you wear the emblem of your station. And the truth is, as much as Laren likes to keep secrets, I imagine she also doesn't want the city's biggest warrior to not be able to come protect her very delicate machinery in case shit pops off.
She talks a lot of shit and has given you very detailed maps. Come down here. It's dangerous, but also if I'm in trouble, please come help.
So you are joined at
gave
the
us
gate that will
that,
lead back
so
to
we know.
Keisha's. You find them in a antechamber. I don't think you're near the heart right now. I think you are probably a good pace out from the heart. But Nidus and Laren, question: which of the automata do you bring, if any, or do you leave them to safeguard or continue working in the heart?
I want to leave everything up here.
If Dweomer is capable of, then of course.
I trust her.
You turn to leave and see the silvery aormaton.
I hope we can
nod
trust.
farewell and look up as these 4 massive steely constructs, without any facial movement, gaze down at her. She says, "All will be well. My lady, may I offer you my most sincere congratulations on the realization of something that has never been."
Thank you. We'll be back soon.
You walk out and you hear the footsteps, the thudding footsteps of Xerxes in full plate, and you guys arrive at the gate that will lead back to Patience.
I'm trying to retain as much knowledge as possible. This is where we're at. I'm going to go around the board. I can see them. You guys can't. Let's go from least used to most used as far as characters go. We'll go around the board, and then I'm jumping into part 2. First off, Loquacious, Sam's character. Very little used in this episode. Almost not even worth talking about right now. I'm trying to think if there was anything worth talking about. Probably not. Love the character. Love what Sam's wearing right now, but there really isn't much to do with him. Let's go next to Travis. Travis had a call from his kid. We have Talon 2 and Wingspan. And then we're talking about Egghead, or was it Eggshell? I think it was Egghead. He obviously had the incident in the beginning with the mirror and everything else, but I feel like he right now is just as surprised at half the shit we're seeing than anybody else. Let's not worry about him right now. Patia, Nidus, and Laren are all in the heart of the labyrinth. The Meridian Labyrinth, I think it was called. Nidus makes these giant 12-foot automaton monsters with blades on their backs. They come rolling up. They're there with this engine. And now Laren uses this piece that we have and powers this engine that allows us to do things never seen or done before. She apparently trusts her people to sit on this kind of technology, and she leaves her with the automatons. We rendezvous with Xerxes. Besides that, the only thing I want to tap into real quick, because I honestly just want to jump into part 2 and I don't want to make this a year and a day. Laren had a locket of Evandrin. Evandrin is obviously Xerxes' husband. As soon as they started talking about this, Xerxes started getting extremely emotional. Now, not that it matters, but I'm just curious, was the actor, Luis, was he being emotional because his character should be emotional? Or is that dude so emotional about the character that he legitimately broke down and started crying? Marisha went and got tissues. I imagine that is not the case. I imagine you're not supposed to act like you're emotional. I feel like that dude really was triggered by what was being spoken of in the sense of it being his husband in the game, but that led me to believe he has no clue what's going on here. Then Brennan asked him, I got to go back to Xerxes. I thought he was going to ask him more like, hey, how do you feel about this, this, and that? But obviously, he wouldn't have known or heard it because it was something going on with Laren. But I need to know more about his husband. I need to know more about Evandrin and Laren's relationship. Nidus, amazing. I don't need to know anything else besides the fact that he creates monsters. Alisander is one of my favorites. I said it during the episode, but Alisander is one of my favorites. He's always rolling up. Nidus is a very stern, serious dude, but I get it. We also have connections now. So we find out there is this one engine that is, for some reason, using up a lot of energy. And for some reason, when we activated the engine, 8% of energy was used for something. I don't know if this is just some horrible, weird coincidence, which obviously is not the case. Something is wrong. She said fucking druids. I feel like somebody is using old technology or something, or not old technology. Basically, they found out that the Raven Queen is connected to this having been put here 119 years ago at the last replenishing. So somebody put this thing here so they could do something underground or behind the scenes, and we just figured it out by the fact that when this whole shit happened and she did the new engine, that 8% was siphoned out of somewhere or did something. Obviously, that's a problem. We got to figure it out. Everyone else loving it. I have to imagine that Loquacious will be a bigger part of the next episode, or maybe it's the second half. I ran out of drinks and everything. I got to take a break, so let's go refuel. We'll jump back in. I'm going to take like a 30-minute break and jump into part 2. Part 2 is going to go to their break, and then we'll see where we go from there. I also got to do Talks Machina today, so maybe we'll do half and half. Either way, there's going to be tons of content for Critical Role this week and next week, and until this is over. I'm loving it, though. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons ahead of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you'll only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, Almost Human, Stranger Things, Season 4. Go check it out. If not, comments down below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on part 2. Peace.